you call it? Con Viva, baby. Con Viva.
Mitch, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. We'll just get right down to it.
Yep.
I have to ask, first of all, what's it like to be a part of the fastest growing comic book, movie, TV, gaming, geek-related entity in Connecticut?
Well, it's a lot. It's exhausting. It's tiresome. But it's the most rewarding, unbelievable job anybody could ever have.
Can you tell me a little bit about Terrificon? I understand you broke your attendance record.
Yes, sir. This year, Terrificon, by the name, that's the name of next year's show, but that's cool. I'm just letting the folks know what the name is this year so they can kind of put it out on the street to their friends and neighbors and wake the kids, phone grandma, the Terrificon is coming next year. But it's a great thing. It's a terrific Comic-Con, so it's appropriate. Now, to answer your question about what was it, how was it like to break attendance records to become the biggest Comic-Con ever in the history of Connecticut? Is that what you're asking?
Well, to break your attendance record set from last year in Bridgeport, jumping to a new venue, it's still your Big Fedora Marketing Comic-Con, one way or the other, whether it's next year Terrificon.
No, I can see the promoting. I can see what you're talking about. You know what? I don't know, because you never know every year. You never know how many people are going to show up. I mean, yeah, you do have an indication when you have your pre-sale tickets. And, pre-sale tickets were a lot higher than last year, so you did have an inclination that something was happening. But the day of people are the ones what can I say, loose cannon, random factor, the X factor, if you will. You never know who's going to show up that day. Is it raining outside? Is it a pretty day out? Is there a carnival in town? Is there some other event drawing people away? So you don't know. But these people showed up in droves. I mean, Sunday, which typically any con promoter will tell you, normally you get half the attendance you get on Saturday, on a Sunday. We had more people on Sunday than we did on Saturday. And we had a ton of kids. We had over 1,000 kids there. And when I mean kids, like 800, because they got it free, so I could tell the passes that there was more than 1,000 kids there. So, having all those families at the Mohegan Sun was just an eye-opener. A lot of folks said I was crazy to go to the Mohegan Sun Casino because that was, they didn't think of that as a place for a comic convention, but, now you know, it certainly was, and the next thing people want to know is when is the next one? When can you do this again? Can you do it like next week? A fella came up to me on Sunday night and wanted to know if Comic-Con was still going. And I said, no, it's over. He goes, when's it coming back? I said, next year. And he says, oh man, I gotta wait a whole year? Can't you do this again like next week? Like, gee, if I did that next week, I'd be in a hospital.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it was like working at a casino and doing a con there? Was it a good contrast? Was the casino happy with the result?
Oh God, yeah. They were amazing. They were beyond amazing because this was all new for them as well. So it was a whole new learning experience for myself, working with their logistics. And for them, they never did a comic book convention, and there was hesitations there. They were worried about people with masks because that's a no-no on the game floor. So we had to make sure that people understood they couldn't play blackjack dressed as Batman because of the security issues. But no, it was. I miss talking to those guys every day, and that's a joke that we have. Like, are we going to see each other? Because I was there almost 2 or 3 times a week, working on stuff, working with their security people, their maintenance people, their food and beverage people, the entire place. That place is like an army. There's got to be 6,000 or 7,000 employees at Mohegan Sun, and it's literally like its own. Well, it is its own country, it's its own sovereign nation, and you literally go to another world when you go over there. The way it's run, it's like what Disney World, how they have all that behind the scenes stuff, how they make it run, and no one ever knows what's going on because you just go there as an attendee, you don't realize that there's a million people behind the scenes making it run flawlessly.
What is in the future for your con now? Can you tell us a little about Terrificon?
Oh my God, let me tell you, the smoke is coming out my ears, wheels are turning, because now that we've done the show there, and I've discovered the give me the word there, wordsmith, immenseness. It's big, it's friggin' big. There's stuff to do everywhere. I mean, I was walking around there Friday and Saturday night. Saturday night, there's more parties going on there than Mardi Gras. I mean, we went over to one room and they're doing something, the glow party, and there's music and there's a DJ and everybody's having a great time. Then we went over to the poker room. There's people playing poker games all night. We had a private poker party. Then we went over to another place called the Mist, and that was like a little disco. And I'm like, oh my God. And next year, I'm going to incorporate more of the nightlife and the after-party stuff that is available at the Mohegan Sun into the programming of the convention. Because I just want fans to take full opportunity of it. I even thought about making the hours longer on Friday night, maybe making the con go to like almost 10 o'clock, open later. Because that place centers around nightlife. And why open it at, 2 o'clock and end it at 8 o'clock when most people are just getting there around 6 or 7? So maybe we have the con open from 4 to 10 or something like that,
Were there a lot of people that you think were going there for clubs or going there for other reasons that saw the Comic-Con going on and got excited and engaged with it?
Yeah, we had people walking up because we had the costume contest on Saturdays for adults. And even not on Saturday, too, there was always cosplay happening. And elaborate costumes. I've seen costumes this year that just blew my mind. The guy that was dressed as Groot was fantastic, and he walked around the shopping mall inside the Mohegan Sun Casino, and it was like the Pied Piper, because he was drawing people around him. They were following him. They're like, what is that guy? Why is he here? What's happening? And they're like, oh, there's a comic convention. Weird. I've always heard about those. What are they like? We were getting, the average Mohegan Sun patron who had no idea the Comic-Con was going on, walking up to the door and looking over, like, can I get in there? How much is the ticket? Can I come in? What else is inside? So, absolutely, man. That event drew more first-time con goers than I think any other show we've done, because people were, like I said, their mind were just blown, man. They were just like, oh my God, what is all this stuff? It's like the circus is here. I want to go see it. Give me a ticket.
Would you ever consider doing more than one show a year if this thing takes off?
They already started talking about that. So like, hey, can you do this twice a year? I go, as much as you like cake, I love cake. I'm a fat guy, and that's what the price you pay. As much as you love them, you got to have moderation, because if you eat too much cake, then the thrill is gone. And if you do too much of the shows, it's as much as you want to do 2 a year, and I haven't closed the door on that possibility, you just don't want to water down the event. There's a reason why Christmas is once a year.
I hear you.
You can't even hear me as these giant trucks are driving by me right there. All right. Yeah, there you go.
What was your favorite moment of this year's con?
Oh my God, there's so many of them. I always love the costumes. That's my favorite. I saw Gamera, the flying reptile giant turtle. Godzilla's pet turtle, if you will. Some cosplayer named Calvin Exum, EXUM. He kept telling me he was going to surprise me, because Gamera is my favorite, monster from the monster movie stuff. And I had no idea what he was going to do dressed as. And I turned my back, or turned around on Saturday morning, and here comes Gamera coming towards me. I'm like, oh my God. And you can see a picture of me on Facebook, and the smiles from ear to ear, because I don't even know how the guy did it. I don't know how he made it. It took a couple years to put it. It's amazing. So that's got to be one of my highlights, was getting a photo next to Gamera. And, short round. Ki-Hu Kwan. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, and here I am sitting across the table with Ki-Hu Kwan and playing short round in Temple of Doom. And we're just talking. He's telling me how Harrison Ford taught him how to swim when he was a kid, and meeting Princess Diana and Michael Jackson, and he's got all these stories that no one's ever heard before. And we're just sitting sitting there having a soda and just talking like two friends over a soda. And he's just telling me, oh yeah, and then this time George Lucas did this, and then Steven Spielberg sent me this for Christmas, and I'm like, holy Christ, this guy's got stories. So that was a highlight too.
Speaking of stories, what's not necessarily the best moment? What's the most memorable story you heard coming out of this year's con? Embarrassing, weird, funny, different, dangerous, illegal? What can you tell us?
The
Controversy.
The funny story is my friend Steve Barker is a police officer up in Massachusetts, and he was kind enough to loan his time and his car to pick up one of our artists, Dan Jurgens, at the airport, in Bradley Airport, for the show, because he was coming down from Springfield. He said, yeah, I'll pick him up. It's on my way. So he picked up Dan Jurgens, who's involved with the death of Superman, and he writes all the DC stuff now. He's an artist writer. He said, and Jurgens tells me, he goes, yeah, when I open the door to get in the car, I see a pair of handcuffs on the in between the steering wheel and the seat. And he said he thought to himself, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? And then when Steve got in the car, he saw that Dan saw the handcuffs. And he said, oh no, that's okay. I'm a police officer. And Jurgens says, oh, I felt so good. So Jurgens is telling me the story in an email. And then I just thought I'd be a fun guy about it. I wrote back to Dan and said, wait a second. Steve Barker's not a cop. I was on the road laughing my head off because the whole idea is, oh, it's okay, I'm a cop. That's why I had these stealing handcuffs here. You're okay. Oh, that's good. That's a relief. Wait a second. That wasn't chicken you just ate at the Chinese restaurant. Yeah, that type of thing. But that made me laugh. There was a couple of those little incidents there that are behind the scenes stuff. Let's see, Greg Grunberg from Heroes telling me a lot of stuff that no one's going to know for a year because he's in a new Star Wars movie and Star Trek. And I was like, why? Because I'm making all this up because he knows I'm such a fanboy. I'm sitting there going, and then what happens? And then what happens? He's like, oh, I can't tell you anything. You just have to wait and see the movie. I'm like, what? Come on, don't do that to me, man. Comic books, man. Those guys behind the scenes secrets. They're always funny stories about Kevin Smith and the crew over at the Secret Stash. Those are always good stories. See, most of the stuff I'll never make press because I'm trying to think, what can we tell people? Nothing really.
Well, what about like the community? Like this is a huge, awesome thing for the geek community, and now you're going to have another con next year.
Yeah, August 19th to the 21st. Yeah.
What do you do over the next 6 to 8 months in the community? Are you gonna hide away from it? Are you gonna still be a part of it? Or are you gonna still start?
It's like groundhog. I'm a big freaking groundhog. I'm just gonna dig a hole and go back in it for a year and then pop up when the snow melts and he pops his head up again and starts posting and putting flyers out again. It's like, oh look, it's Groundhog Mitch, he's back. No, in fact, this is the weirdest thing. I've already started going over plans for next year. Like I said, I was talking to somebody about doing some more nightlife activities. I was already talking to some actors already about who's coming in next year. Already got some artists lined up. And it's almost like it never stopped this year. Usually there's a lull about 2 or 3 months. But last year the lull was trying to find a new location. So that's what kind of ate up most of my time for 3 months, is trying to find a new venue. But now I know where I'm going to be, so that takes a lot of stress off, a lot of pressure. And I can go right to planning a new show. And getting a better lineup, or better guests, and better activities, and, even more bang for your buck.
Awesome. Well, Mitch, I think I've talked you out. Do you have any last words to say to the Bleeding Cool audience?
Just wait till next year, because you ain't seen nothing yet, because it's going to be a whole new Comic-Con going experience for the attendees, and for the guests as well. That's right. I'm going to put trapeze up there. We're going to do we're going to have people swinging from the ceilings. I don't know.
Flying Graces.
Flying Graces. The Flying Graces will be there. Hopefully it ends a lot better for our guests than it did for Dick Grayson's parents.
All right, well, thanks for your time, Mitch, and I'll send the draft for you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll.
That was the weekend. I was sitting there going, oh, I wish you didn't have that baseball stuff.
Yeah, I think that next year, though, we have games. We don't have games that weekend, so we could.
Oh.
It'll work out a lot better. Maybe we can have a table there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was already a really cool article published the other day. Dynamite Comics sent me a link. Somebody was there from you guys.
Sweet.
And I was like, wow.
No, I meant the rock or the yard goats could have a table there.
The yard. Oh, absolutely. I was like, that's weird. Yeah, no, the yard goats definitely, sir, definitely have a presence there. It's one big community. It's one Connecticut community.
Right on.
You know? Right on, brother. Right on.
All right, I got to run to work.
And you go do that. Yeah, send me over the copy. I'll chill through and I'll send it back. You should be perfect, baby, as always.
All right, sounds good, man. Talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you later.